What do Apple, Harley-Davidson, and the Hells Angels all have in common? They all fulfill the core definition of a cult. They attract people who see themselves as fundamentally different from the masses. They create belonging so fierce that members will fight, spend, and evangelize without even being asked. Brand loyalty isn't dead. It just evolved into something most marketers are too afraid to understand. Because the playbook for unbreakable customer devotion was written by cults, not corporations, and Douglas Atkin has cracked the code. Hello, my name is Todd Hagopian, the original stagnation assassin and the author of this book, The Unfair Advantage, Weaponizing the Hypomanic Toolbox. But today, we are doing a stagnation assassin book review of The Culting of Brands by Douglas Atkin. So get ready for a hard-hitting, bold, relentless review of a book that draws a straight line from Moonies to Mac users, and whether that line can help you declare war on stagnation. Atkin is a veteran advertising strategist who spent years doing something most marketers would never do. He sat down with actual cult members, Hare Krishnas, Mormons, Marines, and asked them why they joined, why they stayed, and how the sense of belonging transformed their identity. Then he mapped those exact psychological mechanics onto brands like Apple and JetBlue and Saturn and Ben and Jerry's. The result is one of the most provocative branding books ever written. So let's get into the meat. What does this book get right? The foundational insight is a bombshell. People don't join cults or cult brands because they're weak. They join because they have an acute sense of being different, and the cult validates that difference. Belonging isn't about conformity, it's about finding others who share your deviance from the mainstream. That reframes everything about customer acquisition. Your best customers don't want to fit in, they want to stand out. And if your brand can't tell them their right to be different, somebody else's brand will. Atkin's framework for building cult-like devotion is concrete and it's dangerous. Determine your difference. Declare it with doctrine and language. Demarcate yourself from the outside world and demonize the other. These 4 steps, the 4 Ds, are the architecture of fanatical loyalty. Nike demonizes not doing it. Apple demonizes beige box conformity. These aren't marketing tactics, they're identity warfare, and Atkins shows you exactly how this mechanism works. The chapter on community over individual marketing is prescient. Atkin argues that one-to-one marketing has gone too far, that humans don't want to be treated as isolated individuals. They want tribes, they want rituals, they want shared experiences that reinforce their sense of belonging. When I look at brands that dominate today, the ones with fierce customer retention and seemingly irrational customer loyalty, they all build community first and sell the product second. The companies killing it right now aren't selling products, they're selling membership in a tribe. And the price of admission is belief, not money. The mutual investment principle is gold for operators. Atkin found that cult brands thrive when ownership is shared with the membership. BMW's Motorcycle Club calls every member president. Members who help shape the brand become its most ferocious evangelists. This is scalable. This is operational. This is a retention strategy that compounds over time. But let's look at the murder board. What does this book get wrong? First, the cult metaphor, while powerful, has a ceiling. Not every business can or should aspire to cult status. If you're selling industrial pumps or commercial cleaning supplies, the demonize the other playbook might not translate. Atkin writes exclusively about customer-facing, identity-driven brands. For B2B operators like myself, the framework needs significant adaptation that the book does not provide. Not every brand can be a cult. Some of us sell things that nobody tattoos on their bicep. And Atkin doesn't have much to say to us. Second, the book is light on measurement. How do you know when you've achieved cult status? What are the metrics? What's the ROI of shared mythology? Atkin is brilliant at describing the psychology, but weak on the quantification of that psychology. For operators who need to justify investment to a board, our customers feel like they belong is a real hard sell without hard numbers. Third, the ethical tension is real and it is underexplored. Atkin draws parallels between manipulative cults and beloved brands, but he doesn't spend enough time on the line between creating genuine community and manufactured devotion. There is a difference between a brand that earns belief and one that engineers it through psychological manipulation, and there are those out there. The book occasionally blurs that line in ways that made this operator feel a little bit uncomfortable. The stagnation verdict: 3 kills out of 5. Provocative, fascinating, and genuinely original. The culting of brands will change how you think about customer loyalty and brand identity and the psychology of belonging. The 4Ds framework alone was worth the read, but it's a niche weapon. Powerful for consumer brands that can tap into identity and community, limited for industrial and B2B operators. And the missing measurement framework means that you'll be flying on instinct when it's time to prove the ROI. Solid sparks, big ideas, but incomplete execution. That's the Stagnation Assassin verdict on the culting of brands. 3 kills. Read it to expand your thinking about what customer loyalty really means, but then bring your own operational rigor to the application. For transformation frameworks tested in the trenches of Fortune 500 turnarounds, where belief meets balance sheets, grab the unfair advantage, weaponizing the hypomanic toolbox. Subscribe to the Stagnation Assassin Show. Visit toddhagopian.com for plenty of free resources. Visit stagnationassassins.com, the world's largest stagnation database. Loyalty is not a program, it is a belief system. Build one or watch your customers worship at someone else's altar.